Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. A channel with no name yet. Hopefully by the time I publish this, I probably should think of a name soon so that way I can get these videos up. Coming up with like a name or a brand is so much harder than I thought, but it's like once you pick it, you probably should stay with it. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So one thing I learned so far from, this is my fourth video I believe, I say and a lot. I try not to edit those out too much because I want it to be real and I don't want it to be, there it is again. I want it to be real, but I also don't want it to be annoying, so I need to find the line of where if I say it too much, I gotta take some of those out. But also, you know what I'm trying to say. So I've also really learned that I love talking out loud. It helps me work through issues or problems in my mind. So when I read these answers, I could read it and I could be like, oh, that's a good quote, and then I move on. But if I talk out loud, I start just kind of like pouring out information, like just working around the problem. And it really helps me break down myself, how I think through problems, and I'm able to extract more wisdom that way. So yeah, I really found a lot of benefit in doing this, and if you ever have thought about doing a YouTube channel or a podcast, just do it, and then don't post it if you don't want to. I'm hoping to post these, obviously. I'm acting like I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna get started with this question right away. This question was, what is something you wish you could tell your younger self? It's a pretty common question. I wanted to get some replies from, like I said, average, everyday people. Everything you want in life will happen eventually. Enjoy the present. Yeah, there's something to be said about that. Depending on what you want, obviously, and depending on how much work you're willing to put in. You know, it's just a thought that you don't always have to be going 100% all the time. And sometimes you need to step back and even just reevaluate to make sure you're on the right track. Because if you have a goal in mind and you want this, this, and this, there's times where you have to step back and realize, oh, these two things that I'm doing on a regular basis is not moving me towards that goal, and it's just causing me more stress. And being able to step back, sit back in your chair and examine. If you can rest for those even 10 minutes and meditate on those things that you are doing that's not benefiting you, and you can work to get those habits out of the way and replace them even with something more productive, I think you can rest in the fact even more so that you are just, everything you're doing is pushing you towards what you want. And at that point, once you have those systems in place, you are able to not only work towards those, but also sit back knowing that whatever you do is moving you towards what you want, no matter how fast. But there's definitely something to be said about hustling and working towards whatever you want non-stop for a time as well. There are seasons where you're gonna have to bust your butt to just get things done and build up some momentum. Find out who you are before deciding anything else. I had to think about this one. I read this one a few times first, and I know that's definitely something I did. I kind of had my whole life figured out. Everything what I believed was set in my mind since I was 12, maybe sooner. 12. I didn't know who I was at 12, and you know how much I changed from 12 to 26 where I am now, and I'm just now realizing I established who I thought I was for the past 14 years. And now I'm realizing the importance of this, that I don't even know who I am. I was so blinded by what I thought about everything that I didn't even realize why I thought this, or other ideas that were outside of what was ingrained in me. I'm trying to think of ways that you would be able to find out who you are. I'm going to go back to like a lifting or exercising, working out, whatever. You'll really be able to find out who you are, at least in the sense of like perseverance and strength, which are two important qualities everyone should strive for, because it'll help you excel in other areas of life. And just be able to like join a group class, not to compare yourself to people, but to see where you're at and how far you're willing to push through compared to other people, compared to other average people. And you may find yourself quitting super early, and that should be a warning sign to you that maybe you're not where you should be. Maybe you give up too early. Maybe you jump to conclusions too early. Maybe you're not strong enough mentally or physically. If you truly don't know who you are, you won't know why you believe something, and you won't be able to stand firm on those beliefs. I think this question is so deep to unpack, unless I were to spend I'd probably just spend hours meditating on it, and then hours trying to break it down, and then maybe be able to get some tidbits of information from it. But there's a lot to be said, and I actually encourage you guys to meditate on that, and just think to yourselves, do I know who I am at the core of my being? Do I know what I want? Do you have a vision? I didn't have a vision for my life until probably about a year ago. I had to sit down and I wrote down my vision, what I want in life, and I was very specific. And I thought to myself, I went 25 years without knowing what I want. And there's still times where I don't know exactly what I want, and my vision changes and alters. I'm like, maybe I don't want that anymore. But there's way too many people going through life just working their job and then getting home and then turning on Netflix and then going to bed and then waking up and doing their job. And that's great if it's pushing you towards your vision. Come up with a vision, figure out if that's helping you towards your vision. Can you do more to push yourself to your vision? Is that Netflix at night hindering you from accomplishing your vision? If so, replace it. Step back, meditate, read a book. Just move towards your goals. If you stay stagnant for hours every day, you're missing out on weeks every year to be able to push yourself towards where you want to be. That's a big setback. And it's easy to look back and be like, if I would have replaced whatever with whatever the past 3 years, you may already be where you would want to be. Don't wait. Start now. It's not too late. Fail big, fail fast. This is something that's been happening to me. I've been taking more risk lately. I've been seeing the importance of risk, and I'm more fearful now, or at least trying to be more fearful now, of losing out on the potential gain of risk than being focused on what I could lose if I were to risk things. I used to think to myself, let's say in terms of money, I don't want to invest in this because what if I lose everything I put in? Now I would rather lose what I put in than miss out on what I could gain. And that depends on your financial situation or whatever situation we're talking about. But if you're not going to invest right now and you're like, I'll wait 5 to 10 years, and you wait 5 to 10 years and then you do it, that's awesome that you did it. But knowing that you could have that 5 to 10 years sooner, if you're willing to go for it and take on that risk, there's obviously can be a detriment to that too, by jumping in on things too early and it just breaks you down. But then that goes up to another principle where you just gotta get back up and try again. And eventually it'll work out. Like it has to. Fail big, fail fast. Just figure out how much risk you're willing to take and go for it. Question more, learn for yourself. That's my purpose for this video. Not only for myself by asking these questions, because that's how it started. I would do this for myself. I would question and I love hearing different perspectives, and I can think through it. And even if I don't change what I initially believed, I can add things to it and make it even more broad or make it even more narrow. I can have, there's more nuances that I may be forgetting that can be added and kind of build what I already believed in, and it just makes it more firm. Or total opposite, and it could just change what I think or just alter the way I think. And that's my purpose for making this video or this channel for you guys as well, is being able to hear different information and just questioning and being open to questioning what you had already previously believed and letting these thoughts come in, not to just infiltrate what you're thinking and try to tear apart all of your thoughts, but to be like, maybe this person has a point, maybe this idea could make sense. Maybe there is a reason some people believe this thing so firmly, even if I'm so anti this. There's some people who are against freedom of speech. And I get that there's things that people say that you don't want to hear, or you don't want to think about, or may just be blatantly wrong, or it could be hateful. But even those things are good to hear, because as long as we use the due diligence to break that down and think for ourselves, that's good for us. We are now more capable at understanding things and being able to kind of pick apart disagreeing viewpoints more articulately than just getting mad at people for saying something you don't like. One quote from one of my favorite artists, Tom MacDonald, is there's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. And there is like not much differentiation in that nowadays. Like, people do not know the difference, or ignorant to that. And just realize that just because you don't like something, it may still be true. And even if it isn't true, how much harm is it doing? Like, just don't let it. In a previous video, we talked about how people can't affect how you feel without your consent. It is up to you to decide how you feel about something, and don't let it ruin your day. Simple as that. Don't worry about what others think. Everyone is insecure, so just be confident. I think there's truth to this. Let's say you're at the gym. A lot of people are uncomfortable at the gym because they think people are judging them. Maybe there's a few people that are judging you, but the majority of people there feel the same way that you do. Even the people you wouldn't expect still feel that way or about someone. And if let's say they are judging you, they're reflecting their own insecurity on you. It's not their confidence. Their confidence isn't judging you, their insecurities are judging you. It's the same thing as, like, let's say, comments on YouTube, like trolls. Like, those people are just reflecting how bad they feel about themselves on you. And that's what it would be like at the gym. And those opinions just don't matter. And like I'm saying, I think they're pretty sparse. There's not many people who actually go to the gym and just, like, pick apart people. If so, like, let's say if they come and correct your form, they're probably honestly trying to help. Most of the people who actually know good form, they want you to excel as well. At least everyone I know. And if they critique you, they may just save your back, your knees. So don't take offense to everything. If somebody comes over and they try to help you or they critique you, take that in and realize this person may know more than you and may be trying to help instead of judge. Because like I'm saying, there's not many people at the gym who aren't at least a little insecure about how they're doing things. I'm a pretty confident person altogether, And I've definitely gone to the gym and done something, and then a week later I learned it the wrong way. I'm like, everyone just watched me do it the wrong way. That's embarrassing. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't think anyone even realized. And they probably didn't care. Don't rush into things. Take your time. And it's pretty... Obviously, there's nuances with this, and it's a pretty broad rule, because there are some things that you have to just get it done. But overall, in life, you don't need immediate results or immediate satisfaction right away. I think this generation has kind of learned that you get the immediate gratification. It's talked about all the time with like your phone, like you're scrolling, get immediate gratification, but that's so true. Because just think back 20 years ago, if people wanted something, they really had to work for it. And it maybe took a week or probably longer to get something that think of ordering something. Way back in the day, they had to make it if they wanted it, or they had to buy it and get it shipped from wagons if they wanted it. Now we got Amazon, which is great. You can get something in 2 days. That's beautiful. Like, the progress is amazing. But that also comes as a hindrance, because now you're used to getting things all the time right away. Amazon, our phones, you gotta Google something, just within seconds you can learn all the information you need to know. So putting yourself through things where you get delayed gratification, one of the biggest things is working out, like, by far, because sometimes those results don't come for way longer than you anticipated or hoped. And that's a good thing. That's a great thing, because that is teaching you the total opposite of what everything else is teaching you in society. Even working and then getting your paycheck 5 days later or 2 weeks later is huge. Like that delayed gratification, you don't get paid right away. You don't get paid before you start work. You get paid a week or two after. And it feels good to get that check in your hand knowing what you did. Obviously, sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, this sucks. I thought I made more. But if you would have put in more hours, you would have made more and you would have felt better about it. So that delayed gratification is huge to try to train yourself to just be able to actually experience that in this day and age, because it's going to keep getting harder and harder. And even people with the fitness hacks, 5-minute abs, like, come on. Some of those, you'll get like a pump and you'll do like a crap ton of sit-ups and ab workouts and you'll see it, but that depends on your body type too. Like if you're 50 pounds overweight, you're not going to see instant results, and they kind of market it as if you will. That's not how it works. You can maybe get a 6-minute pump or a burn, and you might be able to see a little bit, but you're not going to get consistent abs. You'll get that delayed gratification from repeating that process over and over and over and over. If you do 6-minute abs every single day for a year, you might see your abs after 6 minutes every day. And that's delayed gratification, and that's going to feel just as good as seeing your abs in 6 minutes because you worked so hard for it. This one, there must be a reason for this one. Don't pretend to like crappy music. It's crappy. I can dig really deep with this one too, and just say it's because you're pretending to be something you're not around your friends. That's a big thing back in middle school, high school. Just trying to do what everyone else does. You like this? You like Cardi B? I was gonna say no hate on Cardi B, but some. I don't think she cares what I have to say anyway. That's why I'm comfortable saying that. But yeah, just don't just like things because other people do. Come on, this is a common lesson. I don't even need to elaborate on this. Just be you, be honest, be true to what you think, and just don't like crappy music if it's crappy, okay? Simple as that. Life lesson 101. Don't be too nice, be able to say no. This is important. This is super important. Something a practice I had to learn was just saying no to people. Instead of, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I just say no. I'm doing this instead. No, thank you though. No, not tonight. It's uncomfortable because everyone has this tendency to where they want to be like the nice guy. It's not unkind to say no and have other priorities. If someone asks you to hang out and you say no and they get offended, you just want to watch Netflix by yourself, freaking do it. Say no, not tonight. Just try it. It's so hard. If somebody texts you and they're like, do you want to do this? Saying, no, not tonight, it's actually way more difficult than saying, no, sorry, not tonight. You're not sorry. If you were sorry, you'd go do it. So just be able to say no to those things and really make that a practice, whatever that may be. If you have someone that's hard to say no to, just do it. I know a lot of people who practice with alcohol. Somebody's like, hey, you want a beer? No. Just to teach yourself that you can say no to these things that you would typically say yes to. And this can be an array of things. Just learning to say no and not doing those things because you feel like you have to, because you don't have to. There's some obligations that will come up, obviously, that you're going to have to do. But if you have a choice, if there's an option, you always have a choice. But if there's an option to say no, and you want to say no, just say no. It's okay. And if that person gets mad at you for saying no, screw them. Like, who cares? Most people will probably understand and they're not going to be that mad, or they'll get over it. Like, come on. Is it really worth being mad about somebody wanting to do something else? No. Alright, so that's the last reply I've received. That's the last reply I'm going to share. I want to thank you guys again for watching this all the way through. I swear I'm going to come up with a name for this channel soon. So it'll have a name by the time it's uploaded. For now, follow me at Josh Wickland on Instagram. And that's where I ask these questions. And maybe you guys can send some replies and I can feature it in upcoming videos. All right.